Ah! Oh, my microphone too. Dang. You run out there. You run out there for your ball. Ugh. Grief. I didn't think I'd be used to this right now. Yeah. All right. Should have cleaned up first. What's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting stuff out of the way here. I should have cleaned up first, but you know, forethought is for. It's really wet outside today. It's been raining all day long, and the dog just ran out to get her ball. You know, she's all wet, which is fantastic. Welcome to the stream. Oh, it's kind of windy. What you doing? I was painting shiplap panels here this weekend. I should have moved them before the stream, but oh well. Hey, what are you doing? Well, you put it there. You got to get it. Get it. Get it. All right, we're almost ready to roll. I think mostly kind of in a transition phase here because I'm doing a lot of projects around the house. And so the garage gym isn't quite as set up as I'd like it to be, but you know, we'll do what we can. Today is a push workout. It's the first one in a few days since I just about chopped off the tip of my finger. And so I don't think it should be an issue. I think holding cables, I'll be able to keep the finger stuck out all awkward like. If I accidentally crudely gesture at you guys today, please bear with me. But yeah, I think we'll do some, what are we gonna do? Sorry, my brain's fried. I feel like it hasn't started yet from the weekend. We'll do some flies, cable flies, words. Can't even think straight. Ugh. Start with cable flies and then maybe do some deficit push-ups, see if I can get the chest sore tomorrow. And then Cobra push-ups for the triceps, and then see if we can do some side lateral raises for the shoulders. So that's what I'm doing today. Go on. No, that's still in the way, Willis. I feel like, no, I don't feel like, I am dragging today. It's been a very cold, well, not cold, but it's been a pretty wet day here. And so, I don't know. I didn't sleep well last night for some reason. Who knows why? So I'm just tired. That's all. It's not the end of the world. Let's go 15. We'll just get a warm-up set in here. Pretty quiet today, huh? Oh, it's pretty high. Oh my goodness. Tala, what's up? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Am I going to hit that at all? Nope. I'm good. How are you? I think I'm a little bit low on that trolley positioning, but we'll see. Did you get it? Did you get it? No. All right. Just get the warm-ups in. Do 2 warm-up sets. My shoulders are feeling pretty good today. Usually the rotator cuffs are rough. Yeah. How's life in Tunisia today? We're gonna do a set of 4 of these. And then, maybe we'll go up to 20, so we'll see. See how the shoulders are feeling on this one. A little bit of biceps tendonitis problems here. Yeah, we're gonna stay at 15. All right. Yep. All right. Next set will be working sets. Do it at 15 pounds. It's pretty quiet in the chat today. I feel like it's been a pretty quiet day. Quiet day for work. I went out to a lab about an hour and a half from where I live. Did some work and just made the trip back. Trying to get a workout in this afternoon. If I can, I do my best to like get a workout in before dinner. There's no like, I don't know, physiological reason for that. It's not like a workout on a fast bro sort of thing. I just like getting my workout in before dinner if I can. Sometimes after. I do my best not to overeat, especially when I'm wanting to work out after dinner. So yeah, I definitely prefer to get the workout in beforehand. And then that way after dinner is all personal projects, productivity side, non-work related, non-exercise related projects that I'm working on. All right, let's get a working set in here. Goal here is to arch and retract a little bit, or a lot. Open up the chest as much as possible. Get a really good stretch, especially at the bottom here, that portion right here. It's uncomfortable, but it's pretty growth promoting. Probably more than this portion, the concentric, by a small margin. So especially with flies, these are so good. Okay. For loading the stretch, getting a really good stretch at the bottom and making it difficult back there. Let me grab a drink here. Yeah, we're not gonna throw Sammy. It's very rainy out, and she wants to throw, but she doesn't like getting soaked either. So, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? All right, shoulders are feeling pretty good, which is not usual, to be honest. What are you doing? She's my my gym mascot, is what she is. Nope. Wow. Sometimes when you're getting into a workout, it's like if your energy levels are low, sometimes it feels like the lift ends up being like feels like low energy. Sometimes when it's high, it correlates the same. And then sometimes it's inverted. I'll get in and I'm like, man, I feel like crap today, and then I have the best lift that I've had in weeks. Today's one of those. I don't feel like I have any energy, and based on that, putting 15s on, and what did I just do? Like 6 maybe. It's a weekday, so we're gonna drop it 2.5 pounds on either side because I'd prefer to get closer to 10 to 15 reps on this exercise. Oh. What are you doing? She's just sad that it's raining out and all she wants to do is go out and play. Right? All you want to do is go out and play. All right. Just drop the weight a little bit. Talked about it before. In general, you want to pyramid down in weight. As your muscles get more tired, as you progress through an exercise. Thank you for not dropping that in my crotch. As your muscles get more tired, you want to pyramid down in weight, not up. All right, let's get some deficit push-ups in. Bear with me. What are you doing? What are you doing? You have something in your eye. Gross. Gross. Ugh, you're all hairy. Ugh, the hair. Unbelievable amount of hair that comes off that dog. All right, let me drop it down here. Featuring. Oh, I'd rather not do push-ups in your butt, though. Excuse me. Get. Thank you. All right. The goal here is kind of similar, trying to get a good stretch at the bottom. So by putting your hands on top of dumbbells or something similar, you can drop your chest lower. So we're not just cranking out a bunch of push-ups for bro reasons. We're trying to use our brains here and do the best we can grow some muscle. That's my goal. Excuse you. Oh, okay. She likes putting the ball in random places that make it more difficult for her to get it out from. That's kind of her MO. Right? Is that your MO? Right? All right, I have to do another set here. Get your ball. Get your ball. Now get. There you go. Just moved it out of the way. Welcome to the chat. Just doing a push workout here with some cable flies, and we'll give them some deficit push-ups. Say hello in the chat if you haven't. Feel free to like the stream. Seems like a pretty sleepy Monday. Excuse you. It's hard to do push-ups like that. Tala, thanks for joining. I think this will be the only live of today, but I'll definitely have more lives coming up this week. Okay. Woo. I know. It's so wet out there today, though. It's so wet. Oh, man. Are you tired? I'm tired. Thanks, Tala. Have a good one. I feel like I tweaked my neck on something. The dog is just incredibly sad because we usually throw while I'm working out, and it's raining quite a bit outside, so she's not a big fan of the rain. So she just stands at the entrance to the garage and rolls her ball around, right? Is that what you do? That is what you do. I know. Life could be better for sure. Excuse you. Trying to work out here, Willis. Ah. All right. Ay, oh boy. That was a slightly sketchy technique on that last one, but that's okay. That's what it is. Like the stream if you haven't already. Double tap the screen. Be great. My dog is in need of some encouragement. Yeah, I know. I know. It's all rainy out. Okay. Let's get some shoulders in. I am not feeling it today. Holy moly. Usually kind of mid-workout. I'm not, as long as everything feels pretty good. I'll do 1 or 2 warm-up sets going into another exercise. But I'm not too concerned about doing a bunch of warm-up sets. Just make sure stuff's feeling good. Nice and lubricated. If you feel any twangs when you're trying to work out, I'm not saying don't work out, but just definitely something to keep in mind as you're continuing your progression. Words, can't use words. It's a little weird not wrapping my finger around the handle here. All right, feels good. We'll make the next ones working sets. What are you doing? Sammy, we have lurkers in here today. They just want to see you move the ball around. No commenters, just lurkers. At least give a thumbs up for the dog, you know. She's being so patient. And everyone leaves. That's right, Sammy. Just you and me. Just you and me. I did a short recently on my channel about why it's a good idea to that's why it feels so different. I wasn't listening to my own advice here. Mount the trolley down by about hand height. That's better. And let your arm go all the way across your body for a big stretch on your arm, your shoulder. Oh. So yeah, check that short out. Clearly you're not feeling as tired as I am. Clearly. All right. Is that 15 or 20? Oh my goodness, it's 15. Not feeling it today. Oh, Amazon's here. Always. Oh. That's it. Oh. Oh. Sammy. What? What are you doing? It's all slippery. Just forever wants to play. That's all she wants to do. You just want to play? That's it? But it's raining. And you don't like the rain. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Willis? These are the sets where the weird sounds come in. All right, you guys aren't feeling chatty. Maybe I'll just tell a story then. What story should I tell? I could tell you how I pretty much cut the tip of my finger off. I could tell you about my time in university dissecting cadavers. I could tell you about some crime lab stories. Yeah, that's what I got. Fingertip, cadavers, or crime lab stories. Somebody's got to tell me. Give me some direction here. Come on. Hey, come here. Hang on, give me 1 second. I gotta grab a package here. Hey, good. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Hey. I'm so sorry. She's nice, but geez. Hey, go get your ball. Yo, can't be doing that, Willis. Yo, David, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat. I was just trying to get people to tell me, do you want to hear, nobody's talking today, which is fine. I get it. People are, a little bit shy, I guess. Do you want to hear about how I almost cut my finger off? Crime lab stories or cadaver dissection stories? You tell me, David. You're the only one that's feeling vocal, apparently. Or whoever else, weigh in. Maybe I should do a poll so you can vote and not have to comment, Oh, gross. That's sweat, weirdo. Hey. Anna Claire, what's up? I do remember you. Pet the dog first. She gets plenty of pets. I need to do my own routine. She usually gets run multiple times a day, but it's quite rainy out today, so she is. Hey. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. All right. Which exercises for posture? Yeah, I mean, that kind of depends. Hip. Posture is sorry, it's hard to talk in between sets here. I'll be able to give a better answer once I'm done with this. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know if I froze or not. Yeah. So posture is in large part genetic. If you have different. Yeah, I know. There was an emergency alert that showed up on my phone. Sorry about that. Thanks, David. Yeah, it's in large part genetic. But if you're talking about, like, if you're sitting at a desk all day and you're working with your hands in front of you, they talk about being so anteriorly focused, people holding their phones. I don't know that that's like making a huge difference. Maybe looking down. If you're looking down for like hours on end, but if you have like a specific postural issue, I would target that. So like general posture, yes, when you're sitting at your desk, you want to be more or less shoulders sort of back, but relax. Don't be sitting here and like, I'm gonna work like this, Anterior pelvic tilt, Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a lot of, I'm not a PT, to be totally fair. So it's not medical advice at all. I've never been a PT. I'm a genetic scientist, so this is not my area of expertise at all. But you know, the musculature, like your hip flexors and some of your back musculature, especially running up into your glutes, are going to be important to strengthen for that. And then probably, like, just like with any postural aspect. So for those of you that may not know, anterior pelvic tilt is where your, and this is exaggerated, but where your pelvis, which is up here, the pelvic girdle is up here, where your pelvis tilts this way. That's the anterior tilt side. So essentially it kind of looks like you're walking like this, right? And so really actually focusing on doing a posterior movement is going to be helpful. And then if it's like a really severe case, there might be some muscular conditioning that you can do that would help that out a little bit. And that's going to be like repetition based and conditioning. So like I said, I'm not a PT. I haven't done specific research on anterior pelvic tilt, but that's what I would say about that. What's up, Zach? Welcome to the stream. Like the stream if you haven't. It'd be awesome. I'm hanging out with my dog who's very depressed because it's rainy out. And she just is sitting here with the ball in her mouth, just hoping against hope that it will dry up and she can run and chase the ball. But I don't think that's in the forecast. So, Zach, how you doing? Those of you that have joined and are only lurking, all love to you, obviously. Feel free to say hello in the chat. Yeah, David, for sure. Oh, man, feeling so weak today. Zach, I tried a vegan gyro. Oh, cool. It was really good. Tzatziki sauce. Awesome. That sounds great. I would love to try that. That sounds amazing. Nice. Let's see. Here we go. I ordered a bunch of dog tags, and I'm going to eventually, my arms are shaking. Eventually, I don't know, do something with like a subscription incentive. But I said 3 of you would be grandfathered in to the dog tags. No donation needed. So Zach, that one's yours. And I've got one for Naz and one for Hades as well. Probably Herculean too. So, but yeah, got the dog tags collection started. How's the finger and what happened? Yeah, so finger is not great. It's not healing like I had hoped it would, but massive improvement in pain. The first day when I did it, it was like a solid 7 or 8 pain scale, and then probably dropped to 5 or 6 after it was treated. And it stayed that way for like 3 days, which was kind of tough. I actually ended up taking some ibuprofen for it so I could sleep. But then as of yesterday, like the pain went down, and then today it's probably at like a 1 or a 2 until I hit it, which I inevitably do, especially at work. And then it goes back up to like an 8 or 9. But that's temporary. So overall, it's doing okay. Like I said, I've never had something glued, to be fair. So maybe it is healing under there and it's just hard to tell, but it's translucent glue and it looks not good. And it's a little bit red and warm, so that could be infection. I don't see any other signs of infection. It hasn't spread down my finger, so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. It's a pain for typing. I type a lot at work, you know, sending emails and writing up reports. And so typing with a little mini club on here is not great. I was talking about it. Yes, your name, Zach H, was on the tag along with Hades and Naz. I'm going to start a collection and see if people are interested in subscribing and donating to the Buy Me a Coffee, $1 or $2. Not you guys though, because your grandfather didn't. Yeah, David, appreciate it. I realized something. So I haven't had a blade related injury in a very long time, probably about 10 or 11 years, a serious one, I should say. You know, nicks here and there is pretty normal. But probably 10 or 11 years. And the last time it was my fault, I bought a breaker bar for working on cars, and it's 24 inches long, and the head, it was a swivel head, and they'd zip tied it down. So I held the breaker bar here, and I held a knife here, and I was like just trying to cut the zip tie. It was really dumb. Don't do that. Use a scissors if you can help it. Right tool for the job is what I'm saying. And if you are going to use a knife, at least push away from you. Well, I was right at the time, I thought I'm pushing hard enough where I should probably cut away from myself. I thought I was safe having a 2-inch tool, essentially. And I was not. It went through, and then I filleted my knuckle open. So I went to the doctor and got that all stitched up, which was terrible in its own right, getting your knuckle anesthetized for stitches, because there's just nothing. I mean, there's nothing there. It's like you're sticking needles into bone, essentially. So that was no fun. That was like 12 years ago, though. And I haven't had an injury since then with a blade until Thursday night. This one was not my fault, though. The knife was a folding knife. And I noticed, it kind of is my fault, actually. I noticed when I opened it for the first time that the liner lock, the part that locks the blade into its open position, didn't engage properly. And then I just put that out of my head. And then 2 days later, I was like, oh, I should use my new knife. So I flip it open and I start to like cut a package. And literally it just folds, the knife folds in and essentially cuts the tip of my finger off. So that was, that's what happened, David. So I ended up going, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to gross anybody out, but I went in and the PA was like, I think we can glue it. If it was any deeper, we'd stitch it. But so they glued it, which is the first for me, probably the most expensive glue I've ever had applied, for sure, unfortunately. Yeah, so it's supposed to be healing, but it doesn't look great, to be honest, but we'll see. See how it goes. Oh, appreciate that, Zach. Thank you. No need for sure. Right. Save your money, put it towards retirement or a house or any number of things. So, all right, let's get another set of shoulders in. I am massively dragging today. I have like no energy. Sleep last night was decent, but insufficient in duration. Thank you for petting. Yes, she gets tons and tons of attention, David. I also have a cat, and anytime we give the cat attention, Sam comes over and throws a fit and like literally physically puts herself in between you and the cat. So it's very she gets plenty of attention. But poor Charlie, the cat, usually gets, come on. Okay, hang on. Let's engage the brain here. And the muscles. Okay. Just about gave up on that set. Such a laid back German Shepherd, like they're rowdy per se, but not usually so laid back from what I've seen. Yeah, I mean, she's ready to go at any time. I kind of joked for a while, like she would, if I got up at 2 a.m. and grabbed the ball, she would immediately get up wide-eyed and ready to play fetch. And I actually tested this theory one night, 2 times actually. One night I was doing a big barbecue, so that was like a 14-hour smoke. So I started it at around 9 p.m. and went all through the night. Woke up every hour to check on it. Hang on. Woke up every hour to check on it. And at like 2 or 3 in the morning, I literally got up. She got out with me, went outside with me, and I grabbed the ball and threw it. And she just took off like it was like any other day in the middle of the day. So, and then one time, not too long ago, a few months ago, I was hanging out with a good friend from college. And literally we just sat on the deck from like 11 p.m. till 6 in the morning talking. And she was up patrolling the property the entire time. I mean, she literally did not sleep. We didn't either, but she was up all night, all 7 hours throughout the night, roaming around the property and doing her thing. So she's awesome. Naz, welcome. Yeah, I'll tell that in a second. David, she is, how old are you? Answer. 4? About 4. 4 years old. She's a good one. Yeah. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It was really slow at first. People were like not wanting to comment, which is fine. It's fine. Yes, I do like my gym. It's taken 7.5 years to accumulate this stuff. So it's been pretty long. Played the long game with it, and now I have a really nice setup that I really like. So yeah, works well for me. Naz, I folded a improperly made folding knife onto my finger. I was using it and it closed onto my finger, and so I chopped the tip of my finger about 90% of the way off. So I had some tissue hanging, we'll say that. So they glued it, and it's been not great. Since yesterday, though, the pain's finally started to go down. I was just telling everybody else the pain was probably a solid 7 for the first 3 days, just like consistently. And ibuprofen maybe brought it down to like a 4. So I took maybe 2 courses of ibuprofen those days just to try to sleep. And now I'm off of it for the last 48 hours and it's feeling decent. I don't know if it's healing very well though, to be honest. I'm a little concerned about infection. I don't have a ton of symptoms for it, but there's some, it's pretty warm, a little bit warm and a little bit red. So I'm just gotta keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't get out of hand, you know. Can we see your severed finger? So it's not actually it's not actually severed. It was like the tip of it. Do you want me to take the wrap? I can do it if you want. Those of you that are squeamish can take the look away. But I will be flipping you off by accident, crude gesture, if I show you my my wound. David, Naz is a nurse, so naturally she's got an unnatural obsession with disgusting things. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's all jokes. But yes, I can take it off if you want. I can show you. It's literally just, it looks like glue, like a blob. It looks like I have a thimble, a translucent thimble on the end of my finger, mixed with a little bit of blood. And the part that I cut off, like mostly, I don't know if it's going to come back. So I'm either going to have like a divot in my I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. But at least it was just the tip. Like it was right in front of my fingernail, kind of diagonally across. So it's not like I cut my last knuckle off or anything. I have a friend who, he planned this whole trip, backpacking trip to the Appalachian Mountains in the eastern United States. And on like the first day, it was like with the first few hours, they were setting up camp and they were processing firewood, and he literally hatcheted off like half of his thumb. So they were like, well, that's the end of the trip. I guess we gotta take Bitch to the emergency room to have his thumb sewn back on. But I don't think they were able to do that actually. So he he's got like, it's sort of like he has a knuckle, but then it just sort of ends. So, okay. Just don't wet it, keep it covered and clean, hopefully it should heal. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's encouraging then. Yeah, as long as it's not like oozing or anything like that, I wasn't too concerned. But that's good to know that it's normal for it to be red and a little bit warm. So then it's probably right on track, to be honest, which is good. Not extremely squeamish, but I don't like to see people in pain in that. Sounds like it would look very painful. Zach, you just outed yourself as not a sadist. 2 thumbs up. Pus, smelly discharge, severe pain, loss of function of finger and temperature. Okay, cool. Then I think we're in the clear, at least for now. And I've been religious about, I've kept it wrapped, but I'll unwrap it twice a day, just to kind of let it air out a little bit, check it out, make sure it looks okay. And then I literally put a rubber glove on and a hair tie around my wrist for when I'm showering, because they said to avoid like direct water onto it. So I was like, whenever I'm washing dishes or I'm in the shower, literally I have a black glove on with a hair tie on my wrist, which is kind of dumb, but it gets the job done. Since they have camera. Oh yeah. Yeah. Fingers, man, you don't want to lose them. That's not great. That's for sure. I mean, it's good bacteria to look after your finger. Yes, that would be nice. That's seemingly what they do. Yeah, it's interesting. That's an interesting psychological thing, germophobia. I don't know if that's the technical term for it, but most people don't know that you're literally like covered in mountains of bacteria all over your body, inside and outside. Billions of bacteria on and in you. Yeah, all the time. What were you cooking? When was I cooking? You mean today? Like for dinner? I had some people over last night. We did like potluck tacos, which was great. Why? Why do you hope not salmon? What's wrong with salmon? Don't hate on the salmon. She likes salmon. It's one of her favorites. David. Well, I mean, you certainly can frame it however you want, but reality, as I say, genetics don't care how you feel. And in that way, reality doesn't care how we feel either. So the reality is we have, do you ever see the, I want to say it was like a viral Reddit post at some point not too long ago, but it's like essentially, what are they called? TACHY something. It's some creature, but literally they're like, you have 7 of these on each one of your eyebrows or whatever, and it's like this terrifying picture. I want to say it's a scanning electron microgram picture of it, but it looks like sort of like a mix between a caterpillar and something more spiky and creepy looking. But it's just kind of like, that's terrifying knowing that you have a bunch of bacteria and other microscopic creatures just crawling around. So, cutting with a knife. I was opening a package, Naz. Yeah, I was opening a package with it. So I didn't realize though, I've had really just one other serious blade accident, and that was 12 years ago. And any other times, like minor nicks or whatever, like I'm generally pretty safe with knife handling and stuff like that. But you know, accidents happen over time. And I think I realized this time around how much of a pain in the ass it is to injure your dominant hand, because when you're cutting with a knife, usually you cut something else, hopefully, you know, I'm exaggerating, but, you know, if you nick yourself, it's probably your non-dominant hand. It was not a package from the Philippines. My goodness. I don't even know why I try. But yeah, cutting your dominant hand is particularly a pain. Unbelievable. Yuck, I have thick eyebrows, so I probably have more than that. Yeah, maybe so. I have very thin eyebrows, so I just squished all of them, I suppose. This is getting out of hand. Tala, welcome back. No package from the Philippines. However, I was doing like I was painting shiplap panels on Saturday or whatever, and I did a stream of that. And I got some random package that I didn't know what it was, and Zach was all concerned that somebody sent me some murderous package, I think. But I am alive. No word on its toxicity yet. Yeah, I know. It wasn't from the Philippines. It was from Bali. No. Can you imagine just getting a random package from Bali? I'd be like, this is either really good or really bad, one of the two. I'm not really sure. Yeah, bacteria. They're interesting. I did have to get a Tdap vaccine when I went in to get my finger put together. And I've never experienced this before. There was one time years ago where I was having blood work done, and the phlebotomist that was taking my blood did such a good job, I barely felt it go into my vein. And that was great. I was like, man, this is awesome. Hades, welcome back. What's up, man? Hope life's been good for you. So I barely felt that, and I was like, that's impressive to you know, get stuck with a large gauge needle for blood draw and not really feel it. Well, this was an immunization, so real small gauge. But anyways, my finger hurt so bad. I had my finger soaking in antiseptic, and then the nurse was like, all right, do you want me to, you know, shoot your shoulder that already has a hurt hand, or do you want to shoot the other side? And I was like, let's just do the other side, which, hindsight being 2020, was a terrible idea, because I couldn't sleep on my right side because I put my hand under my pillow and I was crushing my finger, and it was already incredibly painful. So I couldn't sleep on my right side, and then sleeping on my left side with the Tdap because there's tetanus, it's very, very tender after that vaccine. And so anyways, she did it. I've never had this experience. I didn't feel it at all. And I don't know if it's because of the pain on the other side of my body or what, but did not feel a vaccine, which was pretty wild. Pretty cool. She was obviously good. When I sat it down and made a huge pop, I was concerned. Yeah, Zach was worried that I was getting nixed by my massive, gigantic YouTube following that sends me indescript packages. Watch out for feet finger. For the finger, discoloration such as purple dark as indicate lack of circulation. Yeah, so that's actually one of my concerns, is because I cut like a pretty good portion of skin off slash tissue. I'm not sure that part is actually going to heal back. Like, it's glued in right now, but we'll see if it actually reattaches and redoes its thing. But I don't know. She is chill. But on the phone much, I actually went cold to ear infection. Ooh, bummer. Sorry about that, Hades. Yeah, I was using a folding knife that didn't lock up properly, so then it folded onto my finger and cut a bunch of the tip of my finger off. It'll work out with a tetanus injection. Yeah, for real. It was sore for like 3 days. I showed Zach already, but I've started my dog tag collection, and I'm sorry, I couldn't find a cat tag. I actually did look for one at the store, but there were no like blank cat tags. So I got a packet of 30 dog tags. I'm gonna see if I can do something where, I don't know, get people to subscribe, but I gotta be able to verify that. I don't know, we'll see. I gotta think about it. But in any case, check this out. Like I said, at least 3 of you would be grandfathered in to it. So we got, it's reversed for me. I don't know if it is. We got Zach up there, Hades, and Nas. So there you go. I'll have you know, I perfectly leveled this, and they're exactly 1.5 inches apart. So we're gonna keep going with that trend. Thanks, Hades. Appreciate it. We have a Meyer near me that has an automatic machine. You select design and font, and it prints out. Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. For tags? Out of Meyer. Interesting. I don't know. Do we have Myers? I don't remember. Yeah, I think it's cool. One day I think it'd be cool once I get like, I'm gonna reclaim a bunch of pallets and do a ton of just panels across this whole wall up and down, and then I'm gonna like gray wash them. And then I think it'd be cool to have like a gray pallet wall and then start lining up all those dog tags. That'd be, I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. In the pet aisle, interesting. Interesting. I want to say I've been to a Meyer, but it was a long time ago, and I remember I was drinking beer at the time. I was like really into finding craft beers that were really good. And I remember thinking that Meyer had like an amazing local craft beer selection. So I don't really drink beer anymore though. So I'm a very thoughtful scientist. You know, that's the goal. That is the goal. I'm going to grab a drink. Give me a second. If you haven't liked the stream yet, that'd be awesome if you did that. At least, you know, at least for the dog. Just double tap the screen for the dog. She is in major depressive mode because it's raining outside, and normally we'd be throwing the ball periodically, but she doesn't like the rain or the thunderstorms. So David, she normally is out running around, so she wouldn't be that chill unless it was all rainy out. So don't be too impressed, I guess is what I'm saying. The garage is an absolute unmitigated disaster because I have all of my master bathroom remodeling stuff around with the shiplap panels that I painted on Saturday. And so it looks ridiculous, but yeah. Have you been finding your daily routine with that finger? Yeah, I mean, this was the first workout since I did it on, Thursday night, I guess. I wanted to give it a few days, at least for the pain and to make sure I didn't like really mess it up. But this has been pretty good. Just literally can hold on to stuff with it. Typing's a pain, and I do a lot of typing for my job. So I guess that's a dated term. I do keyboarding. So yeah. Daily routine has been a little bit weird, but I ended up doing a ton of stuff on the to-do list for the bathroom remodel. Like I got the rest of the subfloor cut out. I got 75% of the drain rerouted. I got the shiplap panels cut to size. I got them painted twice. What else? I cut the replacement subfloor. All kinds. You guys bored out of your gourd listening to this, but main point is I got a whole bunch on the to-do list done. After this workout, I'm doing leftover tacos for dinner, and then get back into it, and start working on it tonight too. So the goat of science and exercise. Woo! I don't know about that. Appreciate that, Hades, though. No coconut water. I'm not feeling it that as you call it, rank water. That's a proper description of it, I think. My all-time favorite zero product. I'm coming off of like 3 days of probably around 3,000 to 3,200 calories each day, which if I do that, I like to at least get a lift in that day, because then at least a lot of the calorie surplus is going towards the next 12 to 36 hours of muscle growth, right? That's about when it happens. Like you trigger muscle growth in the gym, like you send the signals with your cell receptors to say, hey, something's going on that we have to produce muscle growth to adapt to this. And then really it takes a few hours, several hours to actually start building the muscle. Like 12 to 36 hours after is kind of the sweet spot for when your muscles are doing the most growth. So that's why a good night of sleep is really good. Lower stress levels and keeping your nutrition on point is huge. And so anyways, all that to say, if I'm going to be a huge surplus like that, like an 800 calorie surplus for 3 days in a row, I like to get a lift in, but I just didn't. I took 3 recovery days, which was okay. It's not a big deal. A&W, yeah, so I drink the zero version for the taste, because if you blindfolded me, Hades, there's no way I'd be able to tell between the zero and non-zero version. It's amazing. It's really cool. David, I'm still trying to figure out how to describe my job to people, but I am a genetic scientist, sort of, slash kind of mechanic, maybe. You could think about it that way. So I work on instruments that sequence DNA and do fragment analysis for DNA and various other instruments. I work on probably about 15 separate instrument platforms, but the main ones I do, five of them are mostly sequencing DNA and doing fragment analysis for things like crime scene investigation, human identification, cancer diagnosis, things like that. So I am not drinking creatine. I don't currently take creatine, but there are really good upsides to creatine. If you want, I can talk about both the upsides and the reasons I don't take it right now. I drink water, but when I drink soda, it's always diet because I'm picky and have an aversion to high fructose corn syrup. Okay, yep. That's legit. I used to drink, a moderate amount of soda, but now I just drink zero stuff no matter what. Yeah, it is very similar taste, Hades. I advise on how to cope with cravings. Oh man, but then feel like bringing on crisps. Yeah. Oh my goodness, worldwide. That is presumptuous. Yeah, that's a really good question. So cravings, I kind of separate them into two categories. They're sort of like the baseline. No matter what I eat during the day, I'm going to crave X at 10 p.m. at night craving. And then there's like diet related cravings. And by that, I mean what you're eating plays into what your psychology tells you should eat more of. So for instance, when you're doing maybe a fat loss phase, those cravings are going to be a little bit different. Psychology is going to be a little bit different because you are literally putting your body in a disadvantaged state. It does not want to be in a deficit and lose calories. Cravings in general, I would say, let's see, I would take a multifactorial approach to this question. If you're talking about just general cravings, we're at like 10 o'clock. You're like, man, I'm not sure what a crisp is. I know that's a British thing. I don't know, is that chips maybe? I'm not sure. Sorry, ignorance. Feel free to tell me. But if there's something that you know is not in support of your lifestyle or exercise goals, that you have a huge craving for, probably the thing that I have in my tool belt that helps the most for me is having good substitutive foods and or drink that support my goals and are satiating such that the cravings are much, much more reduced, instead of just kind of being like, it's 10 o'clock, I really want ice cream, but I'm on this diet, and so I guess I go to bed hungry and cravey. Like, that's not a good long-term solution. You could do it for maybe a few weeks, but once your diet fatigue accumulates for a long enough time, it's like, good luck. That's gonna be a rough time. Personally, I drink a bottle of water beforehand. Yes, Zach, that's a great tip. That's more for like a trying to just do caloric restriction in general. But having, at least 8 ounces of water prior to a meal can really help with portion control, especially. Yes, I can show the dog tag. Where did I put it? I think I messed up one letter. Yeah, I messed up the N on yours. I'm not exactly an expert on hand stamping dog tags. So yeah, that's one of the main things, is having good substitutes. So for me, that's like a lot of the times, if it's calorie restriction, I'm working on like, it's going to be zero sugar things. So if you really incline for fruit, you could do like zero sugar preserves. That's a really good option. You could do just straight fruit because yes, they're not maybe the most calorie conscious technically if you're like really restricting it, but in general, fruit's going to be pretty great. It's going to have some sugar, it's going to have some carbs. Just watch out if it's right before bed. You may be really sensitive to carbs, and if it gives you an energy boost, it won't be good for your sleep. But you'll just need to experiment with that. And then there's another thing that I learned about called I think it was called environmental behavioral. There's one more word that I can't remember off the top of my head, but essentially it's make it difficult to eat the things that don't support your goals. So that's either completely removing junk food from your home. Don't have the packet of Oreos in the closet, in the pantry, if that's like your weakness, where every night you're going and crushing 500 calories of Oreos. Like literally that's the difference between gaining and losing a significant amount of weight. And so you could completely remove it, or something simple, like if you don't want to get rid of it, put it on the top shelf of your pantry. That would require you to get a step stool, and then just have your substitutionary foods below that in easier reach, kind of first order retrievability kind of idea. So that's what I would say, is find substitute foods. If crisps are chips, Quest makes really good protein chips. So that would be really good for satiety. It's 20 grams of protein, 19 to 20. And I reach for those quite a bit. And I think they're only like 180 calories for a whole bag. So pretty good. You shouldn't decrease cravings to 0 all of a sudden because you're going to fail. You need to decrease it step by step. Yeah, that's good advice too, David. Yep. Hades, feel free to drop whatever you want. I wouldn't put it's up to you, but I wouldn't necessarily put like your whole name. That's a personal choice of you, but you're welcome to drop in the chat what I can redo your tag, man. Yeah, Naz, that's a really good point. I think sometimes people conflate results that are antithetical to let me put this a different way. So if a study says we're going to take 1,000 calories away from people and see what happens, and people lose weight because that's what happens with energy balance, that's to be expected. And then they say we follow up with them 6 months later, and they gained all the weight back that they lost during their 1,000 calorie deficit. And people, they assign the reason why to the wrong thing. Some people will literally say, They gained it back because they lost it, literally lost it so fast, 1,000 calories or whatever. And usually it's like way more complicated than that. Like Ozempic is similar. The big thing I've heard is like Ozempic causes a massive loss in lean tissue. Okay, so let's explore that a little bit. What does Ozempic do? It increases satiety. It literally signals your body to say, I'm not really hungry anymore. And so people that ate, 3,000 calories a day are just as satiated at 2,000 calories a day. That is a huge difference. And so when you're eating fewer calories and you start losing weight, if you're not doing things to counteract tissue loss, skeletal muscle tissue loss, you're going to lose lean tissue, right? So that's why when you're doing a cut, like nobody says, now that you've built some muscle, go ahead and do a cut and quit working out during the cut. Like, no. You're supposed to work out hard to maintain the muscle that you built during a cut. Because when you're in a deficit, you're really likely to start losing some muscle mass as well, unless you do things to counteract it. And so a lot of the times, if you're taking Ozempic, which is an incredible technology, but if you're taking Ozempic and you're not doing resistance training or resistance training, you're going to see a lean tissue loss because you're in a calorie deficit. And that's what's going to happen if you're not doing some opposing forces to counteract lean tissue loss. So it's not, is it Ozempic that causes the loss? Not necessarily. It's really kind of the covariate factors around Ozempic use that cause this loss. So anyways, it's not like the cutting of 1,000 calories that makes people gain it back. It's probably something like there's a huge accumulation of diet fatigue. And once people get off of their crazy restrictive diet, they go, screw this. I want my like packet of Oreos every night. And then it's just like, forget it. That's what I'm going to do. So Quest is underrated. I agree. Don't use my real first name. It's my middle name. Cool. Zachariah. Oh, cool. Hey, what's wrong with Zachariah, David? Zachariah is crazy. Yeah, that's a cool name. Okay, Hades. Sounds good. David, we've talked quite a bit about this. It's, behavioral psychology essentially is what you're referring to, discipline to stay consistent. One thing that I've unlocked in the last 14 months of actually lifting is I quit the all or nothing approach to fitness, which was, I told myself I'm going to work out 5 days a week. If I end up skipping a workout, I'm a total failure. And then I essentially just subconsciously jump off the bandwagon. And pretty soon it's like 6 months later and you're like, well, I haven't worked out in 6 months and what's the point now? So I gave myself space in my own brain to say, you know what, missing a day or not hitting my calorie goal for the day is not the end of the world. And these things will happen. You need to be able to flex with your life a little bit. And so I guess giving yourself a little grace when you're doing really any endeavor, to know that there will be days where, one, you're just going to fail outright, and two, sometimes you need to just modulate your plan to suit the overall betterment of your life. So there have been times where I've accumulated so much systemic fatigue over the course of a mesocycle, maybe 5 to 6 weeks, where I'm just like, I'm going to take 3 straight days off, and they're all recovery days. You're eating at maintenance, and you're trying to sleep well, and all of that in support of I'm going to get back into it. So, and then really just keeping your goal in front of you is a big one for me. So when I have those days where I eat at a surplus when I wasn't intending to, the next day I need to get my brain back in gear and say, you know what, there's a goal that I have, and come hell or high water, I'm going to do the things that I can do every day that support that goal. So for instance, like if you want abs, if you want visible abs, first of all, you have to understand there are levels to this thing. There's like, they call it beach lean, which is like, oh yeah, that dude has abs. And then there's like whatever, insert whatever crazy bodybuilding term, peeled, shredded, whatever, where it's like a ridiculous low body fat percentage, where you just have crazy chiseled abs all the time. But let's say you wanted abs. I think a lot of people say, you know, I want to get in shape. Then they don't define that goal at all. So you have a diffuse goal. So you don't even know what you're aiming at. So instead of saying, I want to get in shape, you could say, I'm at 25% body fat, roughly. You can Google and look, you know, about what does my body look like if that's 25%. Okay, so I'm at 25% body fat. I weigh 210 pounds or whatever it is. Numbers don't matter because they're relative to your biometrics. But you could say, I want to lose 20 pounds in X amount of time. And then you can literally just do some math and say, okay, it takes about 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound of body weight. And so you could do the division that way, how much of my deficit should be per day. So like what I'm getting at is you should have a goal in mind, because if you just do the whole I need to lose weight thing, your brain clicks into, I'm not sure there's an end point here. And really what happens is at one point your brain just says, screw this, I'm out of here. I'm going like face first back into my chocolate cake. And so I would say define your goals. It can be a huge, huge part of having success with your exercise or weight loss. Like don't have diffuse goals. Whoa, that's wet. It's breezy and wet and cold. So that's what I would say. And then just realize, like, I have to ask myself a lot, do I want this? Literally, there have been days where I've been so psychologically checked out of doing this, where I say out loud, I force myself to say the words out loud, do I want this? And for me, it's of various goals around fitness and lifestyle and longevity and things like that. But I actually ask myself that out loud, sort of like as a gut check to say, you know, these are the things that I've told myself that I want. And if you truly want them, you'll do things on the bias, in most cases, to support that goal. So if you say, I want visible abs, I want to be beach lean, like, you don't want that. Just baseline, you don't want that if every night you're going into your crazy high calorie dessert that puts you in a 400 calorie surplus for the day, right? And that sounds kind of harsh, and I don't judge people either for like really struggling with food. Like food addiction is really, food's really difficult, because if you do have in some way an addiction to it, unlike like an illicit substance addiction, you have to eat. Like if you have a drug addiction that you're going to rehab for, let's say, they're going to be like, okay, here's the deal. You know, the perfect scenario is we're going to detox, and whether that's come off of it slowly or a cold turkey or whatever it is, at a certain point, you're like 0, no more meth, right? For food, it's just not like that. And some people have a really difficult relationship with food, all the way on the totally ends of the spectrum related to mental health. And it can be really hard to say, okay, I need to lose weight, but then your body literally mandates that you have to eat. So then you have to make this choice over and over and over every single day, multiple times a day. I'm going to eat. What am I going to eat? And so if you're a planner, like, man, plan out your meals. Like if that resonates with you. But at the end of the day, if you're like, I want to get abs, and all you do is eat at a surplus, you don't want abs. You want to eat things that make you feel good in the short term. And so it's going to have to be a perspective shift to say, you know what? I want X goal. And so I have to do things to the best of my ability with the limited knowledge that I have. I have to do things that support the goals that I have, not counteract the goals. So, woo, that was a whole thing. Let me catch up here. You'd be a great personal trainer. Appreciate that, Mass. Thank you. I don't know, but I do like talking about it, and it's a good topic. And like I said, like I don't walk around like judging people for their levels of fitness. Everybody has their own struggles, but when somebody's like, man, I want to like make a change here, and you can see in their eyes their soul is in it. You know, like, man, I actually want to change my body or my abilities. That's really an amazing thing, and it's fun to kind of take part in that. I always like savory food more than sweet food. That's kind of a hack, Zach. I mean, that's helpful. There are definitely some high calorie savory foods too, but that's kind of nice not having a sweet tooth. Yeah, true. Perceptive, always perceptiveness. Yeah, it's been a good session. To be honest, like I almost the first, how long has it been? It's 86 minutes. Probably the first 30 minutes of this stream, I was working out super low energy and just trying to check the box with it. And I think there was like one person in here, and I was that close to being like, I'm turning it off, finish my workout and do my thing. So it was good that I'm glad you guys joined up, and all of you in here in the chat. David, I know it's the first time. I appreciate you joining and taking a part in the dialogue here, but it's always fun going back and forth with you guys. One other thing I'll say about especially fat loss, because I feel like a lot of people want to do they want to lose weight, right? Again, choose a goal weight and then start formulating your plan. But the thing that used to be frustrating for me was not understanding good methodology for tracking your progress. So scale weight is a liar. Like if you step on the scale, first of all, people don't step on the scale at the same time, at the same, during the day. They step on the scale with various different levels of clothing. So really what you want to do is just choose a methodology that allows you to create as few differences in your testing as possible. Nathan, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Tom, interesting. Could go by Tom. People call me Tess, but Tom works too. Yeah. So choose a methodology for weighing that gives you good data as much as possible. So that's usually like a step on the scale with the same clothes or no clothes every morning at the same time. And then follow your trend weight. Don't follow your scale weight. Your scale weight, test Tom Thomas. Oh, that's hilarious. But follow your trend weight. So get MyFitnessPal or MacroFactor or a freaking Excel spreadsheet if you want to, and start inputting your scale weight every single day or maybe 3 to 4 times a week. And then follow the trend line, not your scale weight, because it's going to go like this, but it'll go like this, and you won't realize it intraday, and you'll get really frustrated. Follow your trend line, and if it's pointed downward, you know that you're doing the right thing. And then just keep at it. You can create a deficit that will make that trend line go steeper or more shallow. And a more shallow trend line down means that you're going to be less hungry and cravey. And a more steep trend line, it means you're going to be in a pretty serious cut. I did a 6-week cut and cut 8 pounds recently, and that was really difficult. Every day was like a 700 to 900 calorie deficit. But I knew that it was working because I was looking at my trend line and it was just on the way down. And it was a really good feeling to see over the course of those weeks that it was working. It's not magic. Put the pieces together and try your best to keep your weighing conditions the same. It's all good, Hades. I know life's busy. Test Tom Thomas. I'm gonna introduce myself like that every stream now. I gained a couple pounds. I need to start eating healthy again. Yeah, make a plan. Choose a goal weight. That's the biggest thing. And then don't burn yourself out. If you've got like, I know Zach, you said that you lost 40 pounds recently, which is massive. That is a huge loss. If you're like, I need to lose 20 more pounds, it depends on your time scale, but that might take 2 iterations. So you eat at a deficit for maybe 2 months, a moderate deficit, so you can make it through the 8-week diet, and maybe you lose the 10 pounds over 2 months or maybe 3 months. And then you eat at maintenance for a whole month. So you're not at your goal weight yet, but eat at your maintenance for a whole month, and then drop back into a diet deficit. And then you can just reiterate that until you get to your goal weight. So just watch out for the body dysmorphia. You want to have objective metrics for things that you want to see in your body to indicate that you've made it to where you want to be. And you don't want to just be like looking at yourself being like, I could be leaner, I could be leaner, I could be leaner, because that's not going to be good. Why do you want to shed some weight? I know everyone has different goals, no judgment here, but you look pretty lean to me. Yeah. So part of it is the experimentation that I've done the last 14 months in just putting together like what makes for a trend line in weight that goes up and what goes down. Believe it or not, you guys don't know me before, but I had been really, really skinny growing up and like into my teen years, like really lean. And then I had like quit working out for a long time, the last several years. And I think I was up to maybe like 165 with essentially I had not been training in years and years and years. And so I was like, you know what, I want to change this. And so I started lifting and changing my food, nutrition practices. And so part of the reason I've gone through cuts, before I started streaming, I had done a bulk where I was down to 155 and I bulked up to 165 or 162, I guess. Sorry, I thought my neighbor was honking at me. I had just cut down to where I'm at now, which is 151, 152. And then I started streaming. So part of the reason is because I want to see like what the difference in my body looks like. I can see like a vein show up when I get to a certain level of leanness. And I think that's really fun to see the difference in literally your anatomy is reflected differently depending on your level of leanness. And also like, because I had just done a bulk, I wanted to see if the muscle that I had put on during the bulk, I could retain it with a difficult cut. So like all of these things go into why I was sort of fluctuating weight. I hope that makes sense, Naz. Yeah, 175, most was 213. Yeah, that's a significant weight loss. It's good to know what meals you're going to eat. Meal prepping is key to ensure you stay consistent in your meals. Yeah, it's true. I'm really boring. I'm like one of those people that doesn't have an issue eating the same thing over and over. So like all of my snack foods that are either like meal replacement or just snack foods are all the same. It's Oikos Pro yogurt. So that's Greek yogurt. It's 20 grams of protein per serving. It's 150 calories, I think. It's pure protein. Actually, you know what? I actually brought these out in case it was relevant, and it is relevant. This is not a plug. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by any stretch of the... You want some of this? Obviously. This is my least favorite one. I'm trying to eat these, so they're out of my pantry. But the Churro Pure Protein, I love the lemon cake one. 20 grams of protein for 190 calories. That's hard to beat. When I'm doing more of a bulk and I'm not as concerned about calories, I do these. These are from Costco, and they're awesome. They taste amazing, but they're only 12 grams of protein for 190 calories. And these are like massive cut foods, 11 grams of protein for 100 calories, edamame, dried and salted. But yeah, I'm like, and then these are ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. I mean, science. Legendary Foods has Pop-Tart protein Pop-Tarts and these cinnamon rolls that are literally 200 calories for 20 grams of protein. And they taste really freaking good. And so it's just kind of hilarious how good they are. And they're 200 calories for 20 grams of protein. Each serving of each meal that I have I shoot for at least 20 grams of protein, usually between 20 and 45. So anyways, I just wanted to show that to you guys. And I don't know if Naz, you can even get that stuff over there, but yeah, those are the foods. And then the fruit leather, the one ingredient fruit leather, I do solely, and that's it brands. They're the same thing. They're just fruit compressed into a little bar, which are great for kind of like an afternoon pick me up in the lab, outside of the lab, not in the lab. You know what I mean? No eating in the lab. Yeah, Zach, the stomach is the last holdout of any sort of excess deposition of fat, particularly the lower portion. The last two abs there can be, especially depends on your genetic predisposition. And some people have organs that sit further forward where they think that it's more fat, and it's actually just literally their anatomy. But not sponsoring, but doing them a favor. Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, so Zach, when you get edamame at a restaurant, you're supposed to eat the actual bean. I wouldn't recommend eating the whole thing. So if you just like squeeze them, they pop open, like boiled and salted. And they're pretty good that way, but they're super tough if you eat the shell too. Quest protein bars are cool. Yep, those are good too. Mini stacks, get cornflakes, dates, nuts, Rice Krispies, honey, coconut, and blend together, and you can make mini snack bars or flapjacks and keep fresh in an airtight container. Well, I think I need to now, Naz. Okay, cornflakes, dates, nuts, Rice Krispies, honey, coconut, and blend together. That sounds amazing. Sounds great. I might have to try that. I've been making Kodiak brand pancakes that have a massive amount of protein for their calorie content. It's pretty awesome too. Yeah, Zach. I feel you. I think I did the same thing the first time I ever ate them, and I was like, "This is like eating a piece of leather. Why am I doing this to myself?" But literally, you just squeeze the shell and they split open, and they're delicious. They're great. The eccentric foodie scientist, yeah, maybe so. I'll have to try that, Naz. I'll once this live uploads, I'll refer back to this and maybe make my own. But where would the protein be? Dates, nuts, a little bit in the nuts, I guess. Coconut. I bet you could maybe add some protein powder into that as a as an addition. I don't know. Like I said, I pretty much anything I eat, any meal, whether it's sort of like a meal replacement where I eat 2 protein bars and a fruit leather thing, is going to be at least 20 grams of protein. So smoked salmon is nice in a sandwich. Well, not if you're a Naz salmon hater. I agree, though. That's good. Oh, that sounds amazing. Did you get it? Did you get it? She's the fly chaser. Anything besides oats, I hate them. Oh, okay. I like oats. I really love steel cut oats. Those are a favorite for sure. Define levels because I'm skinny. Yeah, levels of leanness definitely go into how you look for sure. You're shedding so much hair. Smoke sweet chili chipotle marinade. It has to be extremely roasted, charred with Mexican rice. That sounds amazing. Good gracious. I swear, eventually we're going to have a eccentric scientist party, and we're going to do like a potluck, and everyone can make like their favorite or signature dishes. That'd be super fun to do. That sounds great. I go to there's this place that's kind of random. I have to travel there every once in a while for work. It's not a well-known town. It's pretty small. And there's like one bar and grill that I go to pretty much every time. And they have, of course, a roasted salmon dish That's amazing. It has like jasmine rice. So that's what that reminded me of, Naz, the jasmine rice bed with the wonderfully charred salmon on top. Could eat that tonight, but tonight it is leftover tacos. I do eat sushi. I'm not like rabid about it. You know, some people are like, I could eat sushi every day. Like, I love rice, and I'm very adventurous with food. So I like eating sushi for sure. I think the spicy tuna roll is usually my favorite, depending on where it's from. But man, what a day! I'm a little bit cold. Greek vanilla yogurt, granola chips, chocolate chips, blackberries, blueberries, bananas, mix them with protein powder and enjoy it. Sounds great, Hades. Rice and chicken best duo. Yeah, if you can make the chicken where it's not incredibly dry. I have chicken breast multiple times a week. Tofu sushi with avocado and fried jalapenos. Guys, you're making me hungry. Like I said, I've come off of several days of like 3,200 calories. And so today I'm like, my goal is around 1,500 calories. I'm not even that hungry, to be honest, because of the last few days. And so I've just got dinner left. I think I've only eaten like 600 calories today, and I'm perfectly fine. So yeah, anyways, my evenings are usually way backloaded on the calories. I could easily eat a couple thousand calories between 5 and 9 p.m. So I try to keep that in mind during the day. I couldn't believe that when I saw that that news story. At first, I was like, okay, maybe they're maybe it was sort of like, you know, there was a little intelligence, and they were like, oh, they're going to try to assess. But literally, no, it wasn't like there were plans. It was like dude was literally there with a rifle. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, I hate to see that. I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter what your political affiliations are. That sort of thing is terrible. I think it was a few hundred yards, which is still well within range for a rifle. That's for sure. That's what I read, anyways. The yardage. 5,000 calories per 2 hours of soccer and 2 to 3 hours of heavy gym. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you're doing that much physical activity, that's probably warranted. 5,000 calories is hefty, but it's definitely within the realm of possibility. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think? She's like, all I think is it is wet out. Naz, yeah, I used to do deadlifts about a year ago. Between deadlifts and bench press, those are like my spirit lifts. I love them so much, but I don't do either of them anymore. I may get back into bench press once I'm very confident my rotator cuff is back. But deadlifts are not a good hypertrophy. There are a ton of exercises that are way better than deadlifts if you're focusing on hypertrophy. It's not that they won't grow any muscle, but the question is, what muscle does deadlifts target? And it's like, literally the first time I deadlifted, my entire posterior chain was sore. From my traps to my upper back to my mid back, my lats were sore, my glutes were sore, my hams were sore, and literally even the isometric contraction of my calves were sore the next day after deadlifts. It was the most incredible feeling. Like I was like, that's amazing. But for hypertrophy training, you kind of want to do your best to single in and figure out exercises that really accentuate a stretch and cause a huge force curve towards the bottom of the rep, stuff like that. So, so yeah, that's what I say. Was that due to poor form at the time? I don't think so. So it was the fact that I was so sore indicates that I was using a ton of those muscles, and deadlift, it pretty much works out your whole posterior chain. So I'm sure the form could be slightly better, but there's also like a requisite injury or a relative, not requisite, relative injury risk that's quite a bit higher for deadlift compared to other lifts. And so I may get back into them, to be honest. I'd love to program them a little bit more, but yeah, that's what I would say. Poor form at the, I like eating 10 eggs for breakfast, lunch, and smoked salmon, smash burger, and second lunch with Chipotle bowl and loaded burrito for midday, like 2 bags of beef jerky for dinner, lamb stew. Holy moly, that is so much, I love it. I love that. That's a lot of food. Deadlift is popular in Eastern Europe. Yes, Romanian deadlift, Bulgarian deadlift. Absolutely. Yeah, those guys originated some of those lifts. 3 best workouts for gaining body strength. I would say, do you mean like 3 lifts for gaining strength? Or do you mean like if you had, oh boy. Yeah, if it was like 3 lifts and you were specifically focused on strength, it would have to be literally deadlift, squat, and probably bench press, because you'd get front delts, chest, and triceps in a bench press. Deadlift, your whole posterior chain, and then squat is going to be a lot of adductors, glutes, stuff like that. So it would have to be deadlift, bench, and bench press. Deadlift, bench, and what did I say? Squat. Jeez, brain's not working. Yeah, and then you're looking at repetitions of 1 to 4 reps for strength. So you're going to be loading a lot more weight for something like that over hypertrophy-based stuff, which is usually 5 to 30 reps. Just write those foreign country names. Yeah. There you go. If you're deadlifting, benching, and squatting a bunch, especially heavy, it's not like you're not going to build strength with higher repetitions. It's just that there's a neurological adaptation that happens with really high loads that makes that programming really good for building strength. So I guess that's why I don't know the difference between them now. Oh. Yeah. You're eating right now. I can imagine, Hades, if you're eating 5,000 calories every day. I do need to go. I want to hear, I would love to hear at some point, if you're working out, you know, things like, what are your splits? Are you doing like push-pull legs, upper, lower? How many times a week you work out? If you're doing, like Naz is saying, if you're doing strength versus hypertrophy-based training or cardio, trying to get some conditioning in there. If you are doing cardio, are you doing zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, stuff like that? I would love to know what you guys think. So chew on that. I'd like to hear about that kind of in-depth in another stream. Yeah, Naz, I want to hear your methodology for those things if you're doing deadlift, squat, and bench, stuff like that. And Hades, what's your programming for for all of that activity? I'd like to know. Nirvana sucks. I don't know. I like some Nirvana. I'm a genetic scientist / mechanic. So you guys are awesome. Appreciate you joining up. Naz, next time, the question I have is I want to know what your programming is, why you're doing what you're doing, what your split is, how many days a week you're working out, nutrition, stuff like that. It'll be a broader conversation we can have at another time, but I would like to know what your methodology is across the board. What does that mean, genetic mechanic? So yeah, I work on instruments that sequence your DNA. And so I'm doing things that kind of like a mechanic would do, but for instruments that are, in some cases, over $1 million, and do a lot of really crazy things. Amazon deliveries, Philippines, and knives. Did you hear that, Sam? You gotta stay away from your Amazon delivery guys and knives in the Philippines. Good advice for the dog, Nas. I appreciate it. Nirvana sucks. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back for another stream. The rest of you that have joined, as always, it's a pleasure talking with you guys, going back and forth, having a good time. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Nas, get some sleep. It's getting close to knockout time. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Maybe I'll show you my half-healed finger next time. Let's see. See you guys.